Eastern Kentucky overall went through a rather dramatic economic downturn with the rapid decline of the coal industry. The marketplace dried up. What was left in Eastern Kentucky was harder to mine coal, more expensive coal because of that. The coal employment in the state dropped precipitously. And all at once you had thousands of families, sitting on their hands with no job and really no training and no other jobs in that area readily available for them.
Three out of four of my grandparents are from here. So my parents were born in Ohio, but this place draws you back. People end up back here all the time. People leave and their children come back, So that the wave washes out of people when we have a mass immigration, and then people wash back in who want to live here because this is a great place to live in some ways, and it could be a much better place to live. This is a culture that's very dependent on family, very dependent on church, very dependent on the groups that you belong to.
We grew up in the produce business, more or less. We would grow corn and beans. I think we sold them in a roadside stand as a supplement to our income. My dad was a coal miner. My grandfather was a coal miner, but this was a supplementary income. When Dad would get laid off in the mines, that would pay the bills for that summer until the mining business got back on its feet. Eastern Kentucky people, they have a connection to the land. My family's been here since 1795. Many of them never left here at all. I've moved away a couple times and come back, but once you move away, they're like a magnet in these mountains. You eventually want to come back home. You don't feel comfortable in the flatlands some other places. People from these mountains, they move for jobs, for education, and other things. And in general, it's a pretty educated group of people, even maybe not always formally, but they've always been stuff handed down for generations, and survival skills, and especially. But the one thing that's always been handed down is the love of family and the love of place.
Eastern Kentucky to me is a place full of beautiful mountains, and I think that, especially coming from, I'm like nature lover freak, okay? Like I could go hiking 1,000,001 times in these hills and never get lost or never feel lost, because to me, this place is my home and I grew up here, and I know that it's kind of cliche of like the whole, I take pride in where I'm from, and everybody should, but I think Eastern Kentucky has a way of making you feel like home. And when you come here, I hope that people can understand that we are not judgmental, that we are not unkind, or we are not, a bunch of redneck hillbillies who, if you show up, we're going to tell you to leave and we're going to spit chewing tobacco at you. That's not what we are. And I hope that people understand that Eastern Kentucky is more than that.